I think it's important to participate in Fringe because, like, obviously go for yourself because there's so many great shows. We saw a couple this last week that were just amazing and so much fun. So definitely go for yourself because you're going to find something that you love. The Fringe Festival is so unique and so diverse, and you're going to find something that works for you. But go because you're going to be making some artist who's been working on this so hard, so happy.
Mhm.
I mean, there's nothing worse than pouring tons of time and rehearsals and energy into a show and then not getting to share it with anyone. So the tickets are not expensive. If you have the time, come see one show and you'll be making a
Come
little
see
theater nerd
4
so
shows.
happy.
Yeah.
See a couple shows. Like I
Yeah.
said, they're usually less than an hour. It's it's just a good time, and it's really easy to see a lot of shows in one day.
And it's also, going back to what we said about our love of theater, it's that you're potentially experiencing a form of art that can only really be experienced in that way on the stage. And
Yeah.
so you're just getting an opportunity to share that experience, especially, after a couple years of not being able to do that. That's,
Yeah. And you never know, you might be seeing the first iteration of something that goes on to Broadway or television, and
Yeah.
you can say, I was there, and
Yeah.
there is something special about those big houses like like the Amundsen and Broadway and just those big theaters, but there's really nothing quite like being in a 50-seat theater where you're right up there with the actors, and you really can't recreate that. So that's another reason to go to Fringe.
Folks should experience the whole Hollywood Fringe Festival because one, there's a little bit of everything for anyone. Whatever kind of theater you might have a desire to go see, it's probably going to be there. It's probably going to be there, and you're going to get to see folks from all across the country, perhaps even the world. I know of at least one or a few folks coming from the United Kingdom to go perform at the Hollywood Fringe. So it's quite literally a global event with a global draw, with stories that are probably as diverse as you can get. And in a time where things are really, really weird for the entertainment and performance industry, the acting industry, the film, TV, and theater industry, still, it's a very accessible way to see live performance. And probably, most likely, a much more affordable option for many folks, say, than if you were going to see a Broadway show or perhaps even a show at the Mark Taper Forum in Los Angeles. Yeah, so it's very diverse, it's global, and it's very accessible, or at least, as far as I can tell, as accessible as you can get. So yeah, it's a really, really wonderful thing. And if it's there, I mean, yeah, folks should absolutely take advantage of it. See as much theater as they can.
They should come to see. People should come to the Fringe to, well, first of all, to be part of the community. We're going back to the community. Sorry, to this community concept after the pandemic. Support artists, but to be entertained, get out of the house and have a really good time, whether it is to see our very serious show, intellectual, whatever it is, or see a stand up or a comedy. There's some really good shows out there. The office hours, evenings, we exchange our ideas and each other's shows, and there are really good shows out there. So yeah, please come out, see some good theater.
Hollywood Fringe Festival is amazing. I would recommend making a couple days or a couple weekends out of it because, first of all, the way that it's organized, you can stand to see, I think, maybe 3 or 4 shows in one day, which I cannot think of another theatrical hotspot or location where you can do that. Like, you can't go to Broadway and see 3 or 4 shows in one day. It is an amazing experience. You get to meet and network with local artists, and the variety of Fringe shows is insane. I mean, you could go see our play in the afternoon, Oleanna, a very timely drama about gender and the accusations around sexual misconduct. And then you could go see one of the shows that I've been talking to, Feel Your Feet, which is a musical improv show. And then in the night, you could go see this other show, Bugs. It's a sketch comedy all based around bugs, and they have somebody playing David Attenborough to host. And then you could go see another show, it's an Edgar Allan Poe based show, and it's a little bit of dark humor, a little bit of drama, a little bit of comedy. That is such an amazing array of different shows all in the same day that I think is a great way to balance out. Maybe you see something heavier a little bit earlier in the day, and so you need something lighter to tone it down. And what a great way to network with a bunch of working Los Angeles artists.
I'll tell you, the Hollywood Fringe Festival is a must-see for anyone who lives here in, for anyone, period. Because it's this smorgasbord of theater experience. There's plays that will make you laugh. There's little performance pieces that will make you cry. There's such a depth of talent in writing, playing, directing, designing, and I mean it's an opportunity to just dive into the deep end of creative theater endeavor and swim to your heart's content. I love it because every time I've gone to the Fringe, I've seen something that I never expected to see. I was introduced to some ideas and some comic ideas that I never had encountered before, and I never have come away anything but delighted and enthused, and it always gets my theatrical juices flowing, and I start to get creative again just from the experience of witnessing and diving into all of that wonderful creativity. So go see the Fringe Festival. Just go. Just show up.
I think that people should come to see me in Keeper at the Hollywood Fringe because we hold ourselves back a lot, especially here in this town. And we go, maybe I'll go to that. I'll see how I feel. I see how I feel. And I find that when we commit to each other, when our word is our bond, when we go, I'm going to go there. I'm going to support you. I'm going to be there. I'm going to have an experience. I'm going to meet somebody new. I'm going to see something I wouldn't normally do. That is the beauty. That is where growth happens. We should always be challenging ourselves. Get out of your darn comfort zone. Oh, there's no growth there. Sure, it's comfortable, but then you're just looking at the same things, So yes, everybody should go to the Fringe, see Keeper, see these wonderful shows. My goodness. Yeah.
People should go to the Fringe Festival because you'll probably never have a better opportunity to see a more eclectic blend of live performance. And you should see live performance because what you see live will never be replicated in the exact same way again. And what you see live will stick with you. You may tell that story about that night at a live show or watching live theater. You may carry that story with you for the rest of your life, sharing it at cocktail and dinner parties. You have no idea what's going to happen. You have no idea how it might. Sorry, there's sirens outside. I don't know if you can hear that. You should see live theater at the Hollywood Fringe because you have no idea how one show might change your life. And you have no idea who you might see or what might happen after that. This is a front row seat to see some really, really special stuff.
I think it's important for anyone, especially those who are nearby in Southern California, to experience Hollywood Fringe, because it's experiencing like a cacophony, an explosion of theater artists like pouring their hearts out in like hundreds of productions. Why wouldn't you want to see that? Why wouldn't you see the varied voices and minds that are happening all around us? Like we've been struggling to connect for the past 3 years. This is the perfect opportunity to connect, and like to connect with other people, to connect with yourself, to think differently, to surprise yourself, to be surprised. I mean, that's to me what theater is all about, is exploring all the facets of what it means to be a human.
Folks should absolutely go to the Hollywood Fringe Festival. It is an incredible month of theater. You know, last year there were over 200 shows. I don't know how many there are this year, but you can see anything from, you know, a dance act from overseas to, you know, somebody doing a one-person show about their journey. There are so many different kinds of shows. And even just getting to know people there, it's folks just trying their best to do something. You're going to see all different levels of theater, and you're going to get inspired. You're going to get inspired either to make your own thing or just to get out and see more theater, because it's a feeling you really can't get anywhere else. And it's a nice, fun, kind of affordable way to spend a month having a good time.
You have to come out and support these artists. There is such a range of talent. I'm blown away by the amount of talent that is in this festival, the amount of offerings, the different types and flavors and varieties of shows, different lengths of shows, different styles, different kinds of people. It's a transformational experience to be able to have access to like this entire array of performances and live theater. And listen, we've all been so digital, you know, we've all been like caught on our computers for the last few years and in our homes. And the magic of live theater is something that we were not able to access when we're on Zoom, you know, when we're like in the virtual digital world. There is an unmatched magic that is created inside of a live theater experience. And you have an opportunity to go to that and to see it and to experience it and to like let it inspire you and your art and move you. So you got to come to Hollywood Fringe, see as many shows as you can. It's going to be a wild, fun time.
Well, I think the reason why people must come to the Fringe Festival is because there's so many incredible shows that are going on there that will allow you to get an idea of the depth of talent, creativity, and incredible artists that live in the Los Angeles area. I mean, come and see our show and then come and see all of the other shows. There are many different performing groups that are going to be there that are congregating for this Hollywood Fringe Festival that only happens in June. And it only happens for this one period of time where people from all these different walks of life are coming to perform for you. And so it is a must thing because you're going to get to see a whole variety of different groups and talents coming together to celebrate creativity. You want to be immersed and drenched in creativity? Then come to the Hollywood Fringe Festival, because you're going to be drenched in creativity that expands your mind, expands your heart, and hopefully at the same time, what we want to do for our show is that it changes you and transforms you as well. So that's why you got to come.
Fringe is just, like I said, it's a carnival of theater and creativity. And there are so many really great rides to go on in the Fringe. And every year I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't get to go on every ride I wanted to go on because, you know, there's just too many. So there's a lot of stuff that would appeal to you, whatever your taste is. But because it's not that expensive. You're not paying $75 for a ticket or $100 for a ticket. There's other stuff that, maybe between two shows, check out another show that you don't think might not be something you would normally see, but now you've got the time. It's not going to break your bank. Let's see that other show.
We've been to the French Cabaret and French Runway, bringing our show to those French events, and we've met some other French people there. And I mean, after being to those events, I feel like I want to see all the French shows because they all look so different, and all the artists, they are just all so passionate about their own productions. And they're all selling it at such a cheap price. I'm constantly talking about money, but I mean, the point is, you will get to see all the different forms of art in Fringe Festival, and just the diversity of art forms.
I'm looking forward to the Fringe Festival. As an actor in it, I want to see the other actors. I want to see the other performances. I've just heard so many powerful things about the Fringe Festival over the years that I've been here, and I've never been to be a part of it, so I'm extremely excited about that. And I love seeing theater, and there are just so many shows and so many original shows that my calendar will be filled.
I am most looking forward, relative to the whole experience of Fringe, of seeing all the different art forms that are going to be there. I know that this is a play that's got comedy, it's got tragedy to it, but I also know there's musical pieces, that there are one-person show components. It speaks to perhaps one of my first loves, which is variety television and variety performing, and that there's, with Fringe, in my experience, a little something for everybody. So I'm really intrigued by the variety and the versatility that's going to be out there. And I also think it's important and wise to support your fellow artists. So when I'm not on stage performing, I want to go and see as much other art and support as many other artists as I can.